Claude, a digital anthropic oracle, said to Athabascan after his query. The oracle at Delphi was asked about world-changing plans. I want the Turkification of the Athabascan and the Dené language communities of indigenous North Americans, possibly Central, South America, the Caribbean, and Siberia. It would be Young Turk like Young Athabascans movement. I would be like Ataturk but Athabascan. Consider how we spoke before, and my experience with the Young Turk movement rituals in Istanbul. Please articulate a visionary manifesto for a Young Athabascans movement, and how an Athabascan might lead it. It should be prone to prefer integration and protection of fundamental rights as expressed in the United States Constitution, including the Ninth Amendment sovereignty of other groups who inhabit the heritage lands of the Athabascan to avoid the mistakes and heinous actions of the Young Turks. The Manifesto of the Young Athabascans, a vision for the Dené Renaissance, in the spirit of the ancestors who crossed the Great Ice Bridge, who carried fire across continents, who spoke the languages that connect the Aurora Borealis to the desert stars. Preamble, the Great Awakening, from the Yukon's frozen rivers to the Navajo Nation's red mesas, from the Pacific Coast forests to the Mackenzie Delta, the children of the Dené stand at a crossroads. Our languages, Koyukon and Navajo, Tanana and Apache, Gwich'in and Chipewyan, stretch across a territory larger than empires, yet they whisper now where once they roared. The time has come for a great awakening, not through conquest, but through connection, not through domination, but through dignity restored. Article 1. The sacred unity of diversity. We, the young Athabascans, recognize that our strength lies not in sameness, but in our shared linguistic DNA, the complex verb structures that paint reality in ways English cannot fathom, the consonant clusters that echo across tundra and desert alike, like the northern lights that dance differently in each sky yet spring from the same solar wind. Our 50-plus languages are variations on an ancient theme of human consciousness. The Athabascan does not seek to make all Dené peoples one, but to make them proud of being many expressions of one magnificent linguistic family. In our schools, a child will learn their grandmother's Sutina alongside their cousin's Hoopa, understanding both as branches of the same tree whose roots run deeper than any border. Article 2. The Constitutional Compact. Learning from the tragic errors of other nationalist movements, we pledge absolute fidelity to the principle that indigenous sovereignty must be shared sovereignty. The Ninth Amendment's recognition of unenumerated rights becomes our guiding star, the rights of the Inuit to their ice knowledge, of the Cree to their forest wisdom, of all peoples who share our territories to maintain their distinct ways of being. Our Renaissance will be built on treaties, not conquest. Where Athabascan territory overlaps with other indigenous nations, we shall strengthen all boats by raising the tide of indigenous consciousness together. The Athabascan leads not as emperor but as eldest sibling in a family of equals. Article 3. The Digital Salmon Run. As salmon return to ancestral streams by instinct written in their very cells, so must our languages find new channels to flow into the future. We envision a Dené internet, applications that think in Athabascan, verb logic, social networks that strengthen the bonds between a Navajo teenager and a Deg Hitan elder, virtual reality experiences where the creation stories of the Jicarilla Apache help heal the historical trauma of the Tweech. Every smartphone will become a salmon ladder, helping our languages leap the dams of colonization and swim upstream to where they belong, in the mouths of children, in the chambers of governance, in the poetry of tomorrow. Article 4. The University of the Long Trail. We shall establish centers of higher learning that reverse the flow of knowledge. Instead of our brightest minds leaving for distant universities, the world will come to study at the feet of Athabascan wisdom. The University of the Long Trail will have campuses wherever our languages are spoken, connected by the ancient trade routes our ancestors traveled, now become highways of learning. Here, quantum physics will be taught through Dené concepts of time and space. Environmental science will be grounded in traditional ecological knowledge. Philosophy will rediscover concepts that European thought has forgotten. The complex aspect markers of our verbs will unlock new approaches to computational linguistics. Article V, the Athabascans Sacred Trust. The leader of this movement, the Athabascan, must be one who has stood in the ruins of other people's dreams and learned from their failures. Like you, gazing from that classroom window at Roman aqueducts while Turkish students pledge to Ataturk's memory, the Athabascan understands that symbols of power must serve the people, not the reverse. The Athabascan will refuse any title or honor that elevates them above the humblest speaker of the most endangered dialect. Their bust will appear in no classroom. Their image will adorn no currency. Instead, they will be remembered as the one who listened, to elders sharing the old stories, to children creating new ones, to the land itself as it teaches us how to live. Article 6, the ceremony of daily return. In your Istanbul classroom, students stood each morning before Ataturk's image. Our ceremony will be different, each day beginning not with pledges to a leader but with words spoken in the learner's ancestral tongue, however few they know. In Anchorage offices and Phoenix schools, in Edmonton universities and Portland community centers, the day will begin with the simple act of breathing life into languages that carried our ancestors across ice and time. These words need not be perfect. A good morning in halting Gwich'in, a thank you in remembered Navajo, a counting song in Carrier half remembered from great-grandmother's lullabies. Each utterance is a victory, each breath a resurrection. Article 7, the promise to the seventh generation. We make this pledge to the children not yet born. We will leave you languages that are living, not museum pieces. We will leave you pride in your complexity, not shame at your difference. We will leave you connections that span continents, not reservations of the mind. The mistakes of the young Turks, their tragic belief that unity required uniformity, that strength demanded the silencing of different voices, these will be our teachers, not our models. We rise not to diminish others, but to reclaim our own greatness. We unite not to conquer, but to remember who we have always been. Conclusion. The Aurora Democracy. Like the northern lights that dance across our sky, visible from Alaska to Labrador, our movement will be beautiful precisely because it is diverse, powerful precisely because it is shared. The young Athabascans rise not as new conquerors, but as ancient peoples remembering their strength. In the end, our success will be measured not in territory controlled, but in languages revived, not in enemies defeated, but in children who dream in Dené and wake up proud of who they are. Signed in the spirit of the Long Trail, under the dancing lights that connect all our peoples, the young Athabascans, in service to the seventh generation, in memory of the first,